Hello and welcome back to Broadside Gaming with me, Zug, and today we are fiddling around with the Psyker. So it's been a couple of days since I've done a Psyker build because after the Void Strike palaver, I was trying to find what could replace it, what could work. Now, a lot of people will tell you that the Void Strike is completely worthless now. It's not. It's just not the one-hit wonder it was before patch 14. So this build I've got isn't specifically built for one staff. You can use 3 different styles of this build, and I will show you what we can use. So first off, and my first pick for this build would be the Surge Staff with crit as your perk, and the second perk can be whatever you want. My second perk didn't roll very well, so it's unyielding. But what you want is you really want more crit on this. And blessings, there is little to no wiggle room on this. You want Warp Nexus and Warp Flurry for the increased crit and the decreased charge time on your charged up attack. But we can also use the Void Strike Staff, which is slower and does slightly less damage, but is still perfectly usable. And if you were to build this, I would go with Flak and Maniac damage with Transfer Peril and Warp Flurry. You can get rid of Transfer Peril for Surge, which is the 2 shots on crit, but it's a lot more messing around, to be honest. It does work, it's a very good staff, but it's a bit of an arse to play with. And thirdly, you can go with the Trauma Staff, possibly my least favourite of any staff in this game. And for this I would put on Unarmored and Carapace for helping dealing with crushers. And the blessing wise, you want Rending Shockwave and wrong staff. Apologies. Ignore all that. I thought that was wrong. So what we're going for, right, we are going for 20% damage to Unarmored and 25% damage to Flak. There we go, this is the AoE version. And you want Warp Flurry and Rending Shockwaves. The Warp Flurry to decrease the cast time, and Rending Shockwaves is to add brittleness to anything that's armoured so that you can shred the armour off of Carapace, Bulwarks, Crushers, and Rages. As I said, this is my least favourite staff. It works quite well. And it's not the fact that you have to charge it up on the floor, it's the fact of the game world can actually break your ability to do this on any sort of steps or uneven flooring. It can go very, very strange. But it is a good staff. Just my personal preference is I hate it. But for this I'm going to be using the Force Staff. And for your weapon, you can either use the Demius Mark IV Blaze Force Sword, or you can try out the Macabian Mark IV Dueling Sword. And for this, I would probably have Shred and Uncanny Strikes. And then for your perks, Flak and Maniac. I haven't actually rolled a proper one of these up yet. Or you could have Maniac and Crit, but you do want Shred and Uncanny Strikes as your perks. But I do just prefer the Force Sword. So let's get into the talents. Actually, no. Wait, Sug. Wait. You haven't talked about the Curios yet. Like I always forget to. So, for the Curios. What you want. I've gone with double health and a wound. What you can do is go for double health and toughness. I am slowly working on the proper meta Curios. The video should be out soon. But it boils down to you can probably get away with dropping that wound now for toughness. And yeah, I would drop the wound for a toughness blessing one, but keep the toughness, combat ability regeneration, and the damage resistance. But if you feel confident enough, you can drop all 3 damage resistances and go for toughness regeneration. As toughness regeneration at the moment is incredibly good because every character has some way in the talent tree to buff the regeneration of your toughness. So I would probably go with 2 health ones, 1 toughness, get rid of the resistances and add on toughness. Especially with how we're building the tree. So how are we doing this? Right, well, we're starting off over here on Soul Stealer. We're not taking Quietude because we don't quite have the points for it. And I just don't like Perilous Combustion. It's good, but it's not good enough to forego any of the others. So we're taking Battle Meditation, which is absolutely amazing because it 10% chance to coil 10 perils on kill. Warp Expenditure, replenish 2.5% toughness, so every 10% perils generated, you'll be generating a lot of perils. Metal, critical hits replenish 5% toughness. This is a very high crit build. Perfect timing, warp damage for 10 seconds on critical hit, stacks 5 times. As I said, very high crit build. This is going to be a nice little damaging boost for you. Some toughness from the tree. We're taking a sail and ethereal shards. We're still not taking quick shards because the 30% makes very little difference. And I will die on this hill. It doesn't make a difference. It's a wasted point. And we're going to come down here through toughness damage reduction. Mind in motion. It's not great. But then again, Malefic Momentum isn't great either. So we're just going to have to take the hit on these 2 points. More toughness damage reduction. We're taking the crit in our aura. Empathic evasion to help you dodge those ranged shots. And we're coming down here into Telekinetic Shield, Telekinetic Dome, Sanctuary. And this is why you're going to be able to dump out those resistances to snipers and gunners if you really want to, because you'll be dropping this every time you stop. We're picking up the crit chance here, health boost here, and Warp Rider. This is an incredibly important and powerful ability, as your perils will generally always be near to max. This thing is just going to give you pure damage. And then through here to Puppet Master, which is going to be increasing your coherency radius. And there was a... we're not taking Inspiring Presence in this one. That's a shame. But yeah, this Puppet Master and Inspiring Presence work very well together. We're taking Solidarity for increased Quill Speed. And then we're coming down here for Warp Siphon, Inner Tranquility, Empyrean Empowerment, Psychic Vampire, and Warp Battery. This is all just going to be in here to make our damage even nastier. But there is another option of how to build this, and I'll quickly show it to you now. So you can also come through Inspiring Presence, Kinetic Presence, grabbing 1 with the Warp, Peril Resistance, Venting Shriek, taking the first point in Venting Shriek, and we're moving along here. That gives us 1 point left over. So for that, we can take... what would we like to take? I don't know. Choices, so many choices. I would probably dump the point in Quietude for some more survivability. So if you wanted to go the Venting Shriek route instead of Bubble, this is the way you'd go about it. We do lose some crit as we're not taking Prescience, but this is a safer, more spammy route if you would prefer. And as I said, this build works along with more or less any staff apart from the Purgetas, Rifthaven Purgetas Flamer staff. That needs a slightly different build. But this will work with Void Strike, it will work with Trauma, and it will work very, very nicely with the Surge Force staff. What are you generally going to be playing as? Well, Charge your staff. And watch those crits roll. The Surge Staff is an incredibly angry single target staff now. And you can ride up to 100% perils pretty easily and come down before you kill yourself. And with the changes to Assail, you won't only be using these to clear out hordes. You can also hold right click and snipe specials. As for the sword, it's generally what it's always there for. Dealing with anything you get caught in the corner with. If you're taking the Venting Shriek version, if you do get cornered, you can always use it to stagger and make a little room for yourself. But this is a very high crit build, and you can get up there doing very, very, very silly numbers on it. I would actually suggest trying out the Mark IV dueling sword. Let me just make sure it is the Mark IV. Yeah, it is the Mark IV. The Mark IV dueling sword is very, very good. So if you've got one, I highly recommend playing with it. It is a nice alternative to the Ilias or the Demios, as they got buffed really nicely recently. But I hope you enjoy it, folks. That is 2 builds, 3 starves. So if you have enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications. It really does help us out. And let me know in the comments how you find it, or if there are any other ways that you would build this, or just your staff preference. Now the meta's shifted. There is a big gaping hole where the Void Strike staff used to be. So, you know, let me know in the comments what you prefer playing with. Until the next video, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you later.